Let me be among the first to welcome you to Howard Energy Partners. We have an incredible team that we've built here since founding the company in 2011. We've grown from a handful of employees sharing office space and operating a small gas gathering system to a respected industry leader providing a full range of midstream services in multiple states and Mexico. Today, Brandon and I want to talk to you about one of the most important responsibilities of each and every employee, working and operating safely. We realized from the start that for this to be a meaningful endeavor, we had to work smarter and safer than our competition. So from the very beginning, we set very challenging safety goals. Our ultimate goal is 0 accidents, 0 injuries, 0 work-related illnesses, and 0 environmental issues. This is a tough but achievable goal, and not just in 1 year, but year after year. Our number one goal is to execute all of our operations in a safe manner. That philosophy is what guided the development of our safety slogan: stop, think, then execute.
Let's spend some time to talk about what that means. If we stop, think, then execute in all our operations, we will be well on our way towards achieving an incident-free workplace. These simple steps apply to everything we do at Howard, and they're great to take home with you too. The first step when approaching any activity is a little counterintuitive, and that is to stop. Slow down. Give yourself time to clear your mind and focus. Without stopping, you're most likely operating on autopilot and not really thinking about what you're doing. Stopping allows you to assess the situation and get the information you need to make good decisions. If you find that you don't have all the information needed, you can always reset at any time and return to this step in the process. That's why we've empowered every employee here with stop work authority. If something is not going to plan or looks potentially unsafe, say something. It only takes a moment to evaluate the situation and determine if the job can continue or if we need to come up with a new course of action. The next step is to think. We've got to think through the job at hand to identify and understand what the hazards are. Some are obvious, but others are hidden. Fortunately, most are not hidden so deep that a few minutes of focused attention won't uncover them. A good way to do this is to ask yourself a series of questions such as, is there a policy or procedure we should be following? And have we reviewed it? While not a substitute for thinking, our policies and procedures put together in one place all the thinking and lessons learned from the entire team. If we're not following our policies and procedures, we're essentially throwing away all the expert advice from decades of experience. Other questions to ask include, do we have the right training? Do we have the right tools and PPE? Is there anything unique about this job that presents an unusual risk or threat? What are the hazards and what can we do to eliminate them? If a hazard can't be eliminated, what can be done to mitigate the risk? Are there administrative controls we should put in place? What PPE would be appropriate? When asking yourself these questions, keep in mind the actions of others and how they will impact the job. The unfortunate truth is sometimes people are severely injured or even die due to mistakes of others. So it's important for us to expand our thinking and job analysis to include not only what we're doing, but what others are doing also. Procedures like lockout, tagout are prime examples of thinking what others might do.
Only after we've done the first 2 steps of stopping and thinking can we move successfully to the final step of execution. Here is where we integrate the thinking, the procedures, and the training into action. None of this is done in a vacuum. Safety is not an isolated set of actions. If you take nothing else away from our discussion today, I want you to leave with this. Safety is not an isolated act. We don't do safety and then do the job. The two are inseparably linked. There are hazards associated with everything we do, from walking across the street to changing a light bulb to commissioning a new cryogenic gas plant. They all have potentially deadly hazards. And the only way to avoid an accident is to integrate safety into your execution. Integration, by definition, requires teamwork. Our business is too large and too complex for any one person to do it all. The team has more eyes, more ears, more thinking capacity than any one of us alone. Our vision as a company to be a meaningful endeavor is dependent on everyone working safely. I challenge you to be a safety leader in your area. Set the example for others to follow. Every one of us has a responsibility to create a safe workplace, from our newest intern to both Brandon and I. I want you to know I take that responsibility seriously, and I expect you to do the same. If we all stop, think, then execute, we'll be well on our way towards building a meaningful endeavor.